Actor Robert Downey Jr. walked off an interview when the host asked him about his past. He was there to promote his new film, Avengers, Age of Ultron, clearly a romantic comedy, when the questioning veered toward an embarrassing scandal that could threaten Downey's career. It turns out a few years ago, Downey said he wasn't a liberal. I know. Deep breaths, everyone. See, in the world of entertainment, saying that you're not a liberal is like admitting you molest goats or don't own a Prius. The host saw what he thought was controversy and went to pick the scab.
It was after your incarceration, and you said you can't go from a $2,000 a night hotel suite to a penitentiary and understand it and come out a liberal. And I just wondered what you meant by that.
I couldn't even really tell you what a liberal is. So therein lies the answer to your question.
Does that mean you're not a liberal, or that you came out of prison not being a liberal?
Are we promoting a movie? Actually, I wouldn't say I'm a Republican or a liberal or a Democrat.
You've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in, the dark periods you entered and taking drugs and drinking and all of that. And I just wondered whether, you think you're free of all of that, or whether that's still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
You seem okay, it's just getting a little dinosaur in your...
No, look, I don't want to do that.
What do you say?
Okay, now most of the reports make it sound like this was about a guy asking about drugs. But it wasn't. Not at all. The reporter was nailing Downey for not being a total lib. That was the real lurid backstory, not the cocaine abuse. Downey just happened to say this one thing one time long ago, and that's not allowed. Unlike drugs, of course. See, being anything but a leftist is the new skeleton in your closet. And so, unlike Downey, whose politics aren't known, media hacks are relentlessly predictable. Lockstep bullies bent on outing the heretics. How dare Downey have a different opinion, these totalitarians think. Their inflexibility used to keep everyone in line. It's like Ben Affleck saying that it's hard to watch Republican actors because he wouldn't like that person if he met him. But give him one career slide, and he'd do a movie with the KKK. It's in his blood.
Ooh. Ooh.
Just a joke.
Whoa.
Just a joke, people. KG. Oh, what's wrong with you?
I love Ben.
Oh, well, that's your problem.
Not really.
She's a shrink. Okay.
Not a problem.
Was he right to leave?
Yeah, I think that reporter was out of line. He's there to promote a movie. Why is he talking about if he's liberal, if he's this or that? He doesn't. He's Robert Downey Jr. He's a great actor. He's come very far in his life. He's been very open, transparent about his problems and his issues. Whatever. I think he's looking pretty good, especially for, given his past. I admire him for not, kissing that guy's butt. That guy just kept after it and after it was getting exhausted.
See, I disagree with you because I've gone out and done these little junkets before. And you walk in and they tell you exactly what you're allowed to ask about and what you're not. And it's like you walk into a room and they say, make sure you don't ask the guy about the monkey on his head. And you're like, but wait, I'm going to look like an ass for not asking him about the monkey on his head. You're going to ask the question you're going to ask. And then you also know where the interview is going to go from there.
That was a boil. It wasn't a monkey.
It wasn't a monkey.
It was a boil.
I'm surprised Downey didn't get up sooner and walk out. That's his prerogative if he doesn't want to answer the question. But that reporter has every right to ask anything they want. They're not limited.
Well, no, he can ask it, but I have no problem with Downey getting up and going, beat it, loser.
Hey, I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner.
Yeah.
Eric, that wasn't my point.
Well,
my point is that he was treating not being a liberal as being the real scandal.
As the news here. The news that needed to get
And you're
out.
also right about that.
I would say, look, I agree. I think he probably should have gone up a long time before that. He kept looking at his person.
His publicist should have jumped in.
And as soon as he or she did that, then he got up. He got the hook. And that's what a publicist or a comm director is supposed to do.
Yeah.
When you get the heat, it's not Downey's fault. It's the publicist's fault. Get out of there. I would have left a lot early. By the way, watching that, I could care less. I know about his drug use. I know about his where he, I've known Robert Downey Jr.
He was a liberal, not a liberal. Sorry,
but I really wanted to hear about what it was like to film the movie.
Yeah.
I want to hear about the hot co-star.
About what?
His co-stars. Go ahead.
What co-star?
In the movie.
He has hot co-stars?
Dudes, a lot of dudes.
All right. Well, anyway, Kimberly is right
he does.
about this in terms of public response because that host sent out all his Twitter Steely moment from Iron Man. And guess what? He got a lot of pushback from people who said he was wrong and that he was beating up on this poor guy. And I might add that his son just recently had some drug problems. So I think people are sympathetic to Downey on this point. So they missed your point about the liberal
You're right,
stuff.
because the story got
they just
shifted
feel like, yeah, they just feel like, you know,
else.
why are you beating up on this guy? It's not like we don't know he's had problems.
Yeah, you know what's funny? A reporter would never ask a question to a celebrity when the celebrity said he wasn't a conservative, but it was the guy saying it's not a liberal. That's the question.
But guess what?
And then his defense was, "I'm just asking questions." That's, of course you are.
Guess
That's your
what?
job.
Nobody's
going to
want to sit down with that guy now,
I don't know.
Mr. Nosy Pants.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino also objected to questions from that guy. Said, I'm not your puppet. I'm not your slave. I don't have to answer these stupid questions.
Yeah. Are we done here? Mm-hmm. Okay.